In today's episode of the Common Constitutionalist podcast, I'm going to be speaking about John Kerry, possibly the dumbest diplomat on the planet, a grade school teacher who encourages her elementary school students to write get-well cards to a murderer, and a black college professor who is indeed a racist.
You're listening to The Common Constitutionalist, broadcast from an undisclosed location, free from the prying eyes of establishment black helicopters.
Alright, I thought John Kerry was I thought Hillary Clinton was the biggest incompetent Secretary of State, diplomat, however you want to describe her, on the planet. But I'll tell you, John Kerry I believe, has eclipsed her. Maybe it turns out that she's just a criminal. John Kerry's just an incompetent boob. I don't think he's a criminal, I just think he's an idiot. But he is the diplomat's diplomat. He is what all Nimrod political diplomats want to aspire to. That if you talk enough, peace will come in our time just by talking about it. The latest example of John Kerry's idiocy came via the AP reporting that U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry said Saturday he is hopeful that at the successful conclusion of a nuclear deal with Iran will send a positive message to North Korea to restart negotiations on its regime program, or atomic program, excuse me. Now, didn't we already go through this with North Korea and see how well diplomacy turned out for us and for the rest of the world, for that matter? But yet, the Iran deal is going to be the benchmark of success to go forward with North Korea. I mean, honestly, these people are the dumbest. It's beyond incompetence. They're just stupid. It's just narrow-minded idiots. Kerry says in a speech, I am sure Foreign Minister Wang, he's the foreign minister for China, would join me in expressing the hope that if we can get an agreement with Iran, that agreement would indeed have some impact or a positive influence on North Korea, Kerry said. Whoa. I mean, whoa. Foreign Minister Wang's got to be cracking up under his breath, man. I don't know how he kept a straight face. Maybe he didn't keep a straight face. I don't know. I wasn't there to see it. But all I know is that, A, expressing the hope that if we can get an agreement with Iran, by hook or crook, mainly by crook, one way or the other, the Obama dopes are going to get some sort of either out in the open or backroom deal with Iran, and Iran's going to go on and get a nuclear weapon, just as they stated that they would. And no amount of talking, blithering by Kerry, Obama, or anyone else is going to talk them out of obtaining nuclear materials to make a bomb. It's just that simple. That these diplomats, the Secretary of State Kerry, it's unfathomable how dim-witted this guy is. And he thinks he's the smartest guy in the room. It's like Joe Biden. These guys actually think they're the smartest guys in the room. And they are beyond dumb. AP continues by writing, international negotiators are rushing. See, rushing? Of course they're rushing. They want to get a deal done one way or the other. And it's not international negotiators. No one really gives a rat's patoot about this deal but the Obama administration. I don't know what kind of legacy you're looking for here, Barack or John Kerry, the great diplomat. But this is not the kind of legacy you want. Unless, of course, you want to destroy Israel and thus maybe destroy America eventually by some nuclear weapon that's handed over to terrorists and they smuggle it into the United States or something. I don't know. But I digress. All right, back to it. international negotiators are rushing to finalize a nuclear deal with Iran by the end of June, under which Iran's program would be curbed to prevent it from developing atomic weapons in exchange for lifting of international sanctions that have crippled its economy. Well, heck, I don't know what to say about this. I'm kind of at a loss for words at the stupidity that's being demonstrated on a daily basis by the Obama administration and certainly by Secretary Kerry. But it's just dumbfounding. Iran's program will not be curbed. They'll hide, they'll subvert, they'll obfuscate, they'll do whatever they need to do to keep spinning those suckers, and they're going to make enough fissile material, nuclear material, to weaponize it, and then they're going to get a bomb, build a bomb, get a ballistic missile, buy a ballistic missile, whatever. They already have ballistic missiles that can easily reach Israel. And I did an article, I don't know, maybe a month or two ago, that's basically said that they now have a ballistic missile that all they have to do is get about halfway to America, launch it off a ship, and it'll hit the United States. So there you go. Peace in our time. Oy vey. And to think that this is going to restart talks with North Korea. Frankly, Kim Jong-un, as I think he's probably a blithering idiot, but he's probably one step ahead of Kerry. Him and his advisors, if he has any left that he hasn't shot with anti-aircraft guns or whatever the heck he did, they're probably jumping for joy at this opportunity to make fools of the Americans again. So I'm sure that they'd be more than willing to talk to old Secretary Kerry about restarting negotiations and getting more food and fuel for absolutely nothing the way they did last time. So speaking of the great success of last time, here's a basic recap of what happened last time. In 1992, I think, South Korea and North Korea joined and declared that the Korean Peninsula would be denuclearized in 92. In 94, under the Clinton administration, the U.S. and North Korea signed an agreement framework in Geneva, Switzerland, and they agreed. The agreement was hailed worldwide as being a major diplomatic triumph for the Clinton administration. Ugh. And this is exactly what Kerry will announce when they get a deal with Iran, that this is a major diplomatic triumph. I guarantee it, mark my words, that's what they're going to say about this thing. No matter how it comes off, that's what they're going to say about it. A mere 2 years later, 96 to 97, I think it was, North Korea agreed or was negotiating with the United States and other countries, but basically with the United States, over their mystic ballistic what the heck? Ballistic missile proliferation. Whew, that was a tough one. And then 2 years after that, they launched a ballistic missile over, I think it went over Japan, blew up over Japan, and it had a range of about 1,200 miles. So that was the great ballistic missile. What the heck is wrong with me? Proliferation treaty. So they broke that. And then we all remember Madeleine Not-So-Albright in 2000 went over, spoke to Kim Jong-il, and they promised that they wouldn't test ballistic missiles anymore, and in exchange for food and fuel. And then they went ahead and launched another ballistic missile. And then fast forward to Bush administration, and they're on the hook for this too. They went and they got a bunch of UN resolutions, which are completely useless, but what the diplomats love UN resolutions. They're completely useless. They adopted these resolutions, and then within no time flat, North Korea, they get their food, and they get their fuel. that were promised if they sign this resolution. As soon as they get the food and fuel, they back out. They start launching missiles again. They did underground nuke testing during the Bush administration, and it's just all folly. It's just all completely useless. And so if I was North Korea, frankly, I would be looking forward to talking to John Kerry to see what else they can squeeze out of the West without doing a darn thing to deserve it. I don't know. I just think that this whole thing is so foolish. But when you have fools in charge, what would one expect?
You're listening to the Common Constitution. Let the truth be known.
All right. Marilyn Zuniga, or whatever, is a school teacher, elementary school teacher in New Jersey. And she is a African American. She's a black woman, but that's neither here nor there, except for when you hear this, I think you'll figure out, maybe you won't, because there's a lot of white liberals doing this too. But at any rate, she has a class of third graders. Now, my kids are a little older, and I don't remember what age third graders are, but that's pretty young. And at any rate, she got herself in some real hot water by having third graders write get well letters to a prisoner who is he was on death row, and that sentence was changed to life without parole. And she decided he had a medical condition from his diabetes in prison, and was in pretty poor condition for a while. And so Ms. Zuniga decided to bring this to the attention of her third grade little kiddies and have them encourage them to write get well letters to the murderer. You may know him. His name is Mumia Abu Jamal, the cop killer from Philadelphia, and he is he's the cause celeb for the left in Hollywood. I don't know why. It just doesn't make any sense. This free Mumia crap is for the birds. It's completely insane. But this woman has bought into the nonsense too, and she has convinced her third grade class to write get well letters to this dirtbag piece of crap murdering son of a blankety blank. Oh, and she did it without the permission of the school or the parents. She just took it upon herself to do this all by her lonesome. Nice work. She had she wrote on her Twitter account, which she has since, I think she deleted the tweets and made her account private or something, or at least deleted the tweets. One of the tweets that she deleted was, just dropped off these letters to Comrade Joanna Fernandez. My third graders wrote to Mumia to lift his spirits as he is ill. Hashtag free Mumia, the tweet said. Comrade Joanna Fernandez? Comrade? What the frick is that? Comrade? So who calls people comrade except for communists? Nobody. Is that your comrade over there? Yes, Ivanovich. It is. Nobody says that except if you're a freaking commie. And my third graders wrote to Mumia to lift his spirits because he's ill. Hashtag free Mumia. Oh man, what the heck is wrong with us anyway? How did this woman ever get hired in the first place? It's just incredible. Way to go, New Jersey! Hooray for you! I know some folks in New Jersey that may be listening to this podcast. You must be so proud. Ms. Zuniga received a suspension, school suspension. I don't know whether she was canned or not, but she's at least suspended, and I guess that's a start. She did, however, say that the community was behind her and they wanted to see her back in class, that people love her. Maybe all her comrades love her. But, I mean honestly, yeesh. But fear not, all you hashtag free Mumiyas. There may be a light at the end of the tunnel for Mumia Abu Jamal. If he lives long enough, just maybe, and don't be surprised if this actually does happen, but just maybe Obama, in the 11th hour before he walks out of the door of the White House, assuming that he does walk out of the door of the White House and doesn't, Katie bar the door type of deal, you ain't taking me alive, coppers. But at any rate, I wouldn't put it past him to pardon hashtag free Mumia. Wouldn't put it past him at all.
You're listening to the Common Constitution. Let the truth be known.
And here's another great one you'll be happy to hear about. It is regarding black sociology professor Seda Grundy from Boston University, who called white college males a problem population for that her university and all universities. She's a black sociology professor, as I said. And she's got a problem with white male population, at least the students anyway. I don't know about the professors. Probably not the professors, because at Boston University, as well as every other university in Massachusetts, they're all a bunch of liberal hacks, and so they probably feel the same way about whitey, even if they are whiteys. But if they're good liberals, then they're, as we know, good liberals first and crackers second. But she tweeted on her public account, that is now a private Twitter account. There's a shocker. That white masculinity is the problem for America's colleges, and that was amongst other anti-white tweets. So she's basically just a black racist. That's all she is. She teaches African American Studies and Sociology at Boston University. Does anybody know what African American Studies is? I have no freaking clue what African American Studies is. Maybe when I'm finished here, I'll look it up. I've had zero interest up until this point, but I guess idle curiosity may drive me to the interweb to find out what African American Studies is. What do they teach you? I could guess what this woman's teaching people: to hate whitey, that the white students are a problem, and she's probably stereotypically or typical of the liberal left, particularly the black liberal left, that take all this anti-white hatred and they funnel it into the classroom, and that's probably what African American Studies is. Kind of like the Duke lacrosse case. A lot of people, despite the fact that it was all a complete and utter big fat lie, still believe that the white students, the white college lacrosse students, had something to do with something. They must have been doing something wrong. But at least Boston University did something right. They canned her butt, so to speak. I was going to say something else, but they canned her butt. And so far, they haven't hired her back, despite pressure to do so. But of course, she has her detractors, yes, but she also has her supporters that started their own hashtag campaign. Don't you love these freaking hashtag campaigns? They're so useless. It's like John Kerry, the diplomat, a hashtag campaign. It doesn't do anything for anybody but either stir people up or make them feel like they're being useful when they're completely useless. But the hashtag campaign is hashtag I stand with Seda, a sadist. I don't know. And it was launched. They launched an online petition that notes the university, the largest university in Massachusetts in terms of enrollment, is the place where Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King earned his doctorate. So what? What the heck does that have to do with anything? You think Martin Luther King would have said the white college students are the problems with college? Heck no, he wouldn't have. There's no freaking way on earth that he would have said anything like that or even thought anything like that. The fact is that liberal black America, the Sharptons, the Jacksons, and all these other jerkwads have hijacked Martin Luther King's legacy and changed it into something completely ass backwards, completely wrong, and they're doing him and his family a disservice. But one of the supporters tweeted out that racism extends to virtually every institution in American society, including higher education. The petition reads, calling Professor Grundy's tweets racist minimizes the very real effects of racism for people of color in the United States. These people see racism in a tuna fish sandwich. I mean, it's incredible. They are so hung up on being black, they can't see the forest or the trees or, well, I don't even know what. But it's just so insane. If they would just get rid of you know how productive these people might be if they just got rid of all this anger? Of course, then again, what would she be doing if she couldn't teach racist African American studies and sociology? I don't know what she would be doing. Have to be doing something else, because without all the anger, maybe she wouldn't have a job. I don't know. But it's just a shame. I mean, we send our kids off to these universities. You pay a freaking fortune to send them to school, and this is what they get. This is what you pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for, to get this kind of crap in college. I mean, you could send your third grader to elementary school and get this for a fraction of the price. Why pay a college for the same thing? I don't know. It's just all nonsense. But at any rate, just thought I'd bring your attention to yet another ridiculous story in America, and that's all I've got. So I'm signing off, and I hope you all have a great day.